What's up, friends? Welcome to the Go Help Yourself Live. Apologize, I'm a minute late. Sometimes the live doesn't work, and I'm not sure why. It's not. It says it's currently unavailable, so I have no idea what happens when that happens. But I'll give you guys a few minutes to join here, or um, half a minute rather to join here, and talk about how motivation is a myth. All right. Well, I'll just start talking now, and if you join, so be it. So, all right. So a new year is upon us, which is really cool, and I'm looking forward to it. I can feel that it's going to be a good year. But do you know that uh, there's only 8,760 hours in one year. So if you think about it like that, the year goes by pretty quick. But um, so why I say motivation is a myth is how often are you actually motivated to do something? For me, it's not very often, maybe once or twice a month, I would say. So motivation is something that you shouldn't wait for to do something because you'll end up just waiting for motivation and it'll never come and you won't do the thing that you're looking forward to do or looking to do. So, yeah, motivation, I think, is a bunch of bullshit and you shouldn't rely on motivation at all because it doesn't come often. The real thing, which I've said before in the past, is discipline. And this all ties in with the new year, you really have to discipline yourself. And that's how I've done a lot of things in the past. I had addictions and things like that, just living not a good life, and I had to discipline myself to accomplish these things. Mike Tyson says discipline is doing something that you hate like you love it, and I thought that that's a pretty cool quote, and that's true. So for the new year, if you have some things that you want to do. Don't overexert yourself. If you're not a very disciplined person, I would recommend just picking one thing to change in your life and do it for 30 days. Don't even plan on doing it for the year. Just see if you can do that one thing for 30 days. And if you are a disciplined person, you can, probably choose two or three things, but start with one thing. Don't overexert yourself because most likely you're not going to follow through with it in the year. So ways that I've changed, like I was living a crazy life before. I was eating like shit, eating too much sugar. I was addicted to cigarettes, pills, cannabis, so many different things. Just so many bad things. And the real trick is what I've found out is you need to change your identity, not like your name and stuff like that, but you got to change the person that you are and think like if I want to make all these changes, or you got to think like the person that I would want to be, what would I do or what would they do? Or, let me see. Hold on. Try to explain this here. Um, the person that you want to be, what would they do in this situation to get where you want to go? If that makes any sense. So I wanted to become quit all these addictions and become healthy. So I thought to myself, what would a healthy person do? And that's really how I was able to stop smoking cigarettes, taking drugs, not exercising, just eating sugar, eating crappy food. I changed my identity, my actual lifestyle. Hey, Madeline, is that how you pronounce your name? So thank you for joining. So yeah, you just you want to look at what that person would do, and slowly um, adopt their um, habits, and eventually follow that lifestyle full fledged. So yeah, that's how I stopped all those crazy addictions. I'd say one of the hardest things to quit was cigarettes. It was pretty hard because I smoked for like, I don't know how many years. It was like 20 years, something crazy like that. So yeah, it's all about, it's all about gradual changes too. You don't just quit something and expect it to be that's it, done. Or, starting a good habit, you don't expect it to be, you do it for a few days. Don't expect it to happen overnight. This stuff takes time. It's taken me like over the course of, I don't know, like 5 years, something like that, between 3 and 5 years, to stop all this stuff, start working out regularly, eating healthy, actually, putting my energy towards something creative. So you just gotta, take it one step at a time. And the new year is a perfect thing to do, to start. It's a good excuse, you could say. So another cool fact is, a human, on the average lifespan of a human is 28,830 days. That's 79 years old. So if you look at it like that, 28,000 days is really not that long. So that might give you a little bit of kick to start doing something that you would like to do, because we're not here long. And memento mori, as they say, you could go at any moment. So it's important that you do what you want to do now. So um, let's see here. I wrote down a bunch of little keynotes here so I could talk for a little bit, because the past few lives I haven't talked that much. But um, yeah, and then if you have a good idea, or you want to do something that seems like out of the ordinary, a lot of people are going to shoot down your ideas. They're going to be like, "Oh no, that's not good. You probably shouldn't do that," because believe it or not, um, a lot of people don't want you to succeed, which is unfortunate. Even family members and friends, if they're in a shitty situation and you tell them an idea that seems like crazy to them, they'll be like, "Oh, that's not a good idea," or they'll change the subject or something like that. So, but if you really want to do something, like start a business, stop the 9 to 5, whatever you want to do, go ahead and do it. Like I said, we don't live that long, so do what you want to do. Of course, if it's good for your health. But so my best advice for this year, I would say, start reading. Reading has really started to change my life. It's still in the process, and of course, you should never stop learning. You should always be educating yourself. But I recommend reading. I mean, we're in this time where you can literally look up any book on the internet, which is pretty crazy. I see it pretty crazy that you don't make yourself better with all these tools that we have. So you can go online and you can literally look up any audio book or any book and read it. I prefer, like a physical book, but I do listen to audiobooks too. But yeah, I definitely recommend that for the new year to change your life. One book that I've recommended in the past, which if you're not happy and you're struggling, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck is a really good book. It's really short. It's an easy read, but it really gives you a different perspective on to create happiness in your life. So hold on, I'm reading your comment here, Madeline. What do you, Madeline? What do you feel guilty about? Why do you think you feel the guilt? Did it stem from something? Did it come from somewhere? Because that's important to understand where the thing came from, or what the thing was that made you guilty or feel guilty. One thing I can, before you comment on that, or if you do want to comment on what you feel guilty about, one thing that I've found is to forgive yourself. I mean, as simple as that, as simple as it sounds, if you can forgive yourself, that's like that's so important. And it may not be that easy, of course, but yeah, it's if you could forgive yourself, that's super important. We've all done crazy things, we've all done bad things, and more worse than others. But just remember that you can always be forgiven, no matter what you do. It's really really important to remember that. But if you kind of give me an idea of what you feel guilty about, I might be able to answer your question. But so yeah, another thing that has completely changed my life uh, these past couple of years is exercising. If you can get out there and walk for a couple minutes a day, or just do something every day, it's going to completely change your mood. It's going to change your energy. It's just going to change so many different things in your life, and it'll add to the discipline too if you start working out. I'm reading your comment, Madeline. The person that you took it out on, are you still in contact with that person? Because you could literally sit that person down and just apologize for what you did. Um, like, even if you feel like the person's gonna, snap back at you, you'd be surprised at how strong a simple apology is. Especially, I'm sure that most people would understand if something really tragic happened to you and you took it out on them. I think you could explain exactly what you explained to me, that you've been guilty about it and you just apologize to them. And I think that may just be enough. It's Everything's so simple. Like it seems like there's so much complexity in this world, but everything is so simple, especially if you can have simple words with someone. It's amazing what it can do. Yeah, see, I'm also like not very good with relationships, but I've been in a couple relationships, the longest for about 2 years. I haven't in a long time because I feel like I need to do a lot of work on myself. But I think that the best thing would do to do if you can get in contact with that person is just simply apologize, and explain to them exactly what you explained to me, that you felt guilty and you apologize that you took it out on them. And you know um, you know that's the best advice I can give. But I wish I could give you better relationship advice. um, yeah, and then if you another thing, if you have, I'm not talking directly to you, Madeline, but um, generally, I'm saying so. Uh, Another thing is if you have trouble with finances, I know this is a big problem with a lot of people. Start reading on books on finances. It's amazing what's out there, and it's amazing how much you can learn just from reading books on money. And I was, my past, I've been terrible with money, and after reading quite a few books, I'm finally starting to get a grip on, finances and how they work, and not always, living paycheck to paycheck, because it's tough to live like that. And being poor, it's a mindset. It really did. It really is. It's a mindset, and if you can change your mindset, you can completely flip your life around with finances. I can recommend one author that I've read two of his books. I think he put out four books, but MJ Demarco. I'll put a couple of his books in the description below. Unscripted is a very good one, and there's another one I can't think of the name off the top of the head. The Millionaire Fast Lane. That's another really great one, and it doesn't talk about just on how to become a millionaire. It gives you like the foundation of how to, manage your finances and how finances work, and why you should never spend what you don't have. Which it sounds pretty simple, but it's something that a lot of people do. They consume and spend way more than they actually make. So yeah, I think Madeline. Yeah, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Madeline. I think you know the best thing to do is get a hold of that person and try to sit them down, and even if you could talk to them on the phone, and listen to them first. If they're really mad at you, ask them how they feel, and listen to them first, and then in return, apologize to them, and I think they'll understand, especially if something really tragic happened to you. Hey, Moyan, is that how you pronounce your name? Um, so yeah, that's basically the advice I've got for you, Madeline, and also for people watching this for the new year. Yeah, just start small. Do give yourself that little challenge of just doing what you want, the change that you want to make. Do it for 30 days, and take it from there. Do a couple minutes a day, whatever you're trying to do. So just remember always to educate yourself, and the education never stops. So if you can educate yourself or learn something new every day, you're doing pretty good. So um, and don't let distractions dictate your life. This is one thing that I have done lately, but it's gonna roll into the new year. I was watching too much YouTube. A lot of it just BS, not like crazy all day, but I was spending way too much time doing things that were, dictating my life that it didn't matter. Um, just do what matters. It's super important. Do nothing that is of no use. It's from a book of The Five Rings about a samurai, and of course, everything that you do should be useful. So I think Moyan, you're talking to Madeline. Yeah, hey, I'm always here to listen. If you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer anything. Like I'm not shy about questions. I'm trying to think of past experience. So I had a pretty crazy fallout with a friend. Um, Stuff, it's a long story, but in the long run, I called her up and I told her I needed to talk to her, and I had her come over and I told her I apologized to her, and I said it's not your fault, it's my fault, and I love you, and it just cleared everything up like instantly. When you're really sincere with an individual, it's amazing what it can do, and it completely flipped the relationship around. So that's the best advice I can give you. Oh yeah, Moyan. What level are you for the spinal cord injury? Because that's what I would love to help you with. Like, um, I went through some serious stuff, and if I can help you at all with a new spinal cord injury, um, I'm here to help. T8. So T8. Not very familiar with T8, but yeah, whatever questions you have for me, feel free to ask. I'd be happy to ask you. I mean, I'd be happy to answer you. Also, uh, I used to think when I first got injured that it was the end of my life, everything's over. But just remember, it's not the end, and it most definitely gets better. The only thing is, you got to put the effort in. Effort is so important. Even if you do something little every day, the effort, putting in a little bit of effort makes a world of difference. And if you put the effort in, even if it's a little bit every day, it's definitely going to get better. There's no way it can't. So that's the best advice I can give. Oh, you have intense spasms. Yeah, spasms. Spasms can be pretty annoying. Um, Stretching is super important for spasms. I have pretty bad spasms. I mean, I wouldn't say they're bad. I don't know what level of spasms you have, but stretching is like paramount to reducing spasms. And I try to do everything, natural. I don't take any pharmaceuticals, any medicine like that. So try stretching, and that has worked a lot for me. Now, fitness and working out has really reduced my spasms as well. Make sure you stay hydrated, and if you can get out in the sun, I've noticed the sun helps my spasms. So if you're looking to do anything natural, I would recommend those are the best things. So yeah, Madeline, that's it. Just be authentic with the person. Tell them how you feel, and don't beat around the bush. And I'm sure they'll understand, unless they're like spiteful or something like that. I'm very sure that they'll understand. Yeah, yeah, writing is actually a really good way to do that. I think if he's mad at you, then writing would be the best thing you could possibly do, and then you can really, might be kind of nervous talking to him in person. With writing, you can sit there and really think about what you want to say, and that's the best thing. You have all the time in the world to write something down and actually, read it over and be able to see what it says and exactly what you want to say. So yeah, I think that's the best thing you could possibly do in the situation right now. Yeah, Moyan. I mean, it depending on how bad your spasms are, you might have to do the pharmaceutical route. I know that baclofen can be one of the best things for medicine. So I would recommend baclofen. And then I don't know if you have access to cannabis. Cannabis works really well. The only reason I stopped that is I didn't like the high feeling, but cannabis is extremely works extremely well. And there's another thing that I don't necessarily recommend it because it can be super addictive, but kratom is another thing that actually works really well for spasms, but it can be super addictive. So I don't even really want to recommend it. So, but baclofen, I don't think there's many side effects, and I think it's very effective. So yeah, Madeline, that's I think that's in your situation. I think that's the absolute best thing you could do for sure. Um, yeah, Moyan, it does get better, and you put in the effort, and you just take action. Action, in life is super important with everything. If you don't take action, not much is going to happen. That's like with reading self help books and things like that. You could read these books all day and you can read about getting better, but if you don't take action, nothing's going to happen. And it doesn't have to be big. I can't stress that enough. It's something really small. You can take action. Even if it's really small, it'll definitely start to make a change in your life. And we always have the choice. We always have the choice to react or make big changes in our life. That's really cool about our lives is we have the power to change our surroundings and change just everything if we really want to. Yeah, I was going to say baclofen. I think that's the only side effect is tiredness. So I don't know. I think Like, I try to do everything naturally, so I would say try, stretching, as much as you possibly can in the morning. That's what I do. But my spasms aren't crazy, so that's the best advice I could give you. Yeah, Chevy 79. That's diet is super important also, and hydration. As I said before, a lot of people don't drink enough water, and you'd be amazed at how many positive things come about or come of drinking water. So, yep, that's it. Consistency is the key, and consistency is important with pretty much everything. Yeah, it is. It is difficult to accept it, but you may not have to accept what happened to you. But if you can come to peace with what happened, then then that's what's super important. But it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. It takes time to really come to terms and come to peace with a traumatic event. It took me uh, almost 5 years. So yeah, it's not something that happens immediately. You just got to do your best every day, and you just keep trying. So yeah, so that's why I think motivation is a myth. It's you can't wait till you're motivated because the motivation doesn't come regularly. You just gotta be disciplined and do what you don't want to do. I still have days where I don't want to work out, but I do it because it became part of my lifestyle, and I know that it's going to be good for longevity. So I do it anyways, but it's not something that I like to do every single time. So, but all right, friends. Well, I think I'm gonna end it here. Thanks for joining the live. Really appreciate it. And yeah, if you guys got any questions, like I said, I'm happy to answer. So happy New Year, and I'll be putting a video out on Sunday. And yeah, make some changes in your life. And like Chevy 79 said, um, you know, consistency is key. And start small, and it'll eventually get big. So, all right, friends, as always, stay strong, stay active, stay creative, and go help yourself. Over and out.